England. That's the parent organization is Bags of Hope New England. We send our orders into them, and they get the bags monogrammed, and they get all the items through Kohl's, Hasbro, Walmart, in different big box stores. They get a lot of items donated, or they get them at a very greatly reduced price. And then when our order's ready, we go and pick it up. We can go down there and help them wrap gifts and pack bags. We can help them do deliveries, but when the bags are ready for Connecticut, we have to bring them back and distribute them all through Connecticut. We have the entire state. We have 16 different offices now, so we're pretty busy with that. The people that we serve are any of the kids in DCF and any kids in Connecticut DCF. We get the names of the children, the first name, the age, the gender, the name of the social worker, the office that they work out of. And so we tag each individual bag. We monogram them, so they're all personally monogrammed with the child's first name. And we fill them and we distribute them to the social workers' offices, and they give them to the kids. So that's the area that we cover. Bags of Hope New England, they cover Massachusetts, Connecticut. I understand it's breaking into New York. It's in several different states now. Indiana, Northwest Florida. It's growing pretty quick. I think New York is going to open up a chapter pretty soon. So we're excited about that, and we're expanding some of the services that we're going to be providing to the children.
Very good. Susan, tell us about Make-A-Wish, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So happy to be here. So I'm the director of outreach for Make-A-Wish Connecticut. We cover just the state of Connecticut, but as you know, Make-A-Wish is a international organization. The organization was founded over 40 years ago, and we've been here in Connecticut for 37 years. We grant about 250 wishes to Connecticut children alone every single year. Our mission is to grant wishes to children who are battling a life-threatening medical condition. There's a misconception out there that our kids have to have a terminal condition to qualify, and they do not. In fact, the huge majority of our kids go on to lead amazing, long, satisfying lives. We kind of come into their lives at the worst time when they're in the middle of treatment or just after diagnosis or something like that. And, studies are showing that just kind of having this organization behind them, having the wishing for something, having something out there, the impossible being able to happen is incredibly powerful. And it helps kids kind of stay on the course, keep going with their medications, keeps the family up. We involve the whole family and the siblings as well. And then, that the wish will happen. And that's not even the end for us. We stay involved with our families forever. We've got lots of programming that we do, things that we offer, activities that we offer for kids forever. It's a great, we have ways for them to connect with each other, which is amazing, and provide a community for kids. And so what we do is, again, Make-A-Wish Connecticut is just, we just cover Connecticut, but we cover the entire state.
Very good, thank you. And Peter, tell us about the programs of St. Vincent DePaul, please.
Sure. I just heard about two terrific programs. And our agency is a little different than some. Historically, our agency was founded in 1980 by a couple of nuns that realized that a lot of the people that were taken out of CVH and other mental health institutions really had no place to go, and they founded the first soup kitchen in Middletown. And the diocese thought it'd be a good idea to put it on Main Street. And there's a lot of contention about that because the business partners don't like it terribly much. But the reality is having some of the most underserved of the population in plain sight often gets viewed a little differently than if we somehow wish that they were somewhere else. So we've been in business for 40 years. Historically, the agency has provided, 3 meals a day, 6 days a week, and provided an opportunity for local churches to take the 7th day and provide breakfast and dinner. or anyone that comes in. Everyone's welcome at the table. Nobody writes their names down. About 17 years ago, our food pantry and three others in Middletown, the Red Cross and the Salvation Army, were combined, and the Amazing Grace Food Pantry was born. That organization started out as a traditional food pantry where people could come once a month and get a 3-day supply of groceries for their family. But about the time that COVID happened, I got hired on as a development director because I didn't have anybody in development, and it was apparent to me that there was a lot of more need for food than the 3 days that the federal government was providing. So we provide about 8 days of food right now for last month, 1,020 families from the Middletown area, 90% Middletown proper and 10% surrounding communities. About 2,500 people get served by the food pantry every month. The interesting thing is that a lot of people want to do good for people in need. And what we tried to promote in our organization is that the food pantry is where to go fishing for those people. So we also provide access to a lot of different resources. During COVID, we started a free clothing program that's utilized by 32 different nonprofit or social service organizations, everyone from the public schools, YMCA, Gilead, Columbus House, all the shelters, Middlesex Health. They'll send us an email saying we just admitted a patient and he has no clothing with which to be discharged, and we send him vouchers. We designed the program in a way that the community all donates clothing to Goodwill, who handles the Goodwill. You know, they handle clothing brilliantly, frankly, and they give us vouchers based on 15 cents a pound for all the clothing that gets donated. And then we distribute them only to social service agencies because they determine need. We don't have to get involved in need determination because that's not our expertise. But every time somebody's come to us saying there's a real problem here, like during the pandemic, the mayor of Middletown says, how are we going to feed people? And at one point, our soup kitchen was making 700 meals a day to export. People were picking up food there. The city came to us, the Board of Education actually came to us 4 years ago and said, well, Connecticut Food Bank canceled a weekend food program for a nutrition program for kids, and they called it a backpack program. And I personally interviewed 6 of the 8 public school administrators, the principals, and said, what kids? What was the program worth it? Was there any interest? Was there need? And he said, there's plenty of need, but the food was terrible. And I said, okay, so if we were able to solve that problem, can you handle the determination of need within the school in a way that doesn't embarrass any kids? And he said, absolutely. So for the past 3 years, the program started with with 3 schools, and now we've got all of the public elementary schools and St. John Paul School as well. And we deliver extremely healthy 5-pound bags of weekend nutrition, including fresh fruit, yogurt, shelf-stable milk, things like that, right to the schools, and they send that food home with kids that are, let's say, in jeopardy of showing up on a Monday morning hungry. And that's what we're working on solving there. The public schools also reached out and said we're considering putting a food pantry in the high school and the middle school with a different setting, kind of a self-serve setting. Is there any way you could help us with that? And we've agreed to do that. We're helping with funding. We're helping. We will be going in there midweek and doing a inventory and then filling the shopping room, so to speak. And we form partnerships a lot. Our organization is all about partnerships. We don't do this ourselves. We have the University of New Haven providing us with dietary nutritionist interns on their 5-year master's program. They're in our food pantry helping people make healthy choices if they want that help. And they also have agreed to run the pantries in the schools. So our agency still is a soup kitchen. It's still a food pantry. But I have an Eagle Scout right now working on setting up a project where we are going to have free public haircuts in our dining room. They got a grant for the plumbing. We've already bought the chairs, and we have about a dozen hairstylists willing to volunteer 3 hours a month. And so we'll put up a website where social service agencies can actually book their own time with a hairstylist with a specialty, representing the culture from which the individual, wants a haircut. And we're hoping to have that up by Christmas, but definitely by January, that'll be up and running. So when there's a need, we like to hear about it, and then we join other organizations in solving problems. And I have to give my hats off to the Lions Club. During COVID, our relationship was formed because we could not accept a tractor trailer load full of farm to family food because there was no way that Middletown could consume 26 pallets of food or be distributed in a reasonable way. And through the Lions Club, on a delivery date, we accepted the tractor trailers. On that delivery day, I would find 10 vehicles coming in from Eastern Connecticut, all Lions Club vehicles. And I'd say 30 to 40% of what came off that truck was distributed by the Lions Club in Eastern Connecticut. So I knew at that point we had a great partner, and I would love to continue partnering with you on solving problems. So that's that.
Thank you, Peter. I'll start with the next one, and we're going to start with Susan from Make-A-Wish Foundation. Can you share with us an impactful story about one or more of your clients or recipients of your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we get kids from age 2.5 to 18, and they come in, and it's usually the lowest point in their whole life. I'll think of one child who I get a call from the social worker that this child was just diagnosed with cancer, and she's just very, very, very down. And as soon as the social worker introduced Make-A-Wish, it really got her thinking, and it was amazing. And it was just this huge transformative moment for her, where she really looked at her whole world falling apart, and then all of a sudden she could really dream. And we really encourage our kids to just, think about what their best day might look like, right? Do they want to travel? Do they want a puppy? Do they have a shopping list of things that they want to get? Do they want a play set outside? Do they want a playhouse that has a purple door with a round top and window boxes that they can fill with flowers? Whatever that request is going to be, we're going to try to make that come true, because it gives them something amazing to look forward to. I can think of another child actually in your area who she was approved just before COVID. She had her bags packed. She was ready to go to Disney. She was ready to, I think her flights were March 19th of that year. So we all know what happened, and this poor kid, but all through COVID, again, we kind of call this our wish journey, and her wish granting volunteers and the office. And we send stuff to our kids every month. Just somebody's thinking about them. Something's great. They love seeing these boxes. We all hate getting mail because everything I get is a bill, but when they get something and it's a toy and it's candy or it's something fun, they love it. And we kept that going all through COVID and had programming for them and activities. And we did drive-in movie, ways to interact safely. Contests, all sorts of things. And when this child finally last summer got to go to Disney, it was just amazing. But meanwhile, she had racked up lots of Make-A-Wish goodwill all along the way. She's still super involved. If you saw any of the coverage on our Wishes on Wheels convoy from this past weekend, I believe that she was on the news. So it was, I'm not sure somebody wants to be sharing their screen right now. She was amazing. And so, it's a chance to come into these children's lives and really bring the good, we count on our wish granting, but we're just a staff of 20. And so we count on our wish granting volunteers, who are the ones who are really our front line with our families. And they're the ones who are bringing the joy and bringing the fun every single day. And it's a chance to really just be amazing every day, and bring some light and some hope and some joy and some strength, and some amazing positivity to some amazingly strong kids and their amazing siblings and their amazing parents.
Thank you so much, Susan. Stephen. we'll go with you. Same question. Can you share with us a story about one of your clients or recipients?
I did share this at some other meetings. I don't know if everyone here has heard it. There was one child that I came to meet. I don't usually get to meet the children, but I got to meet this little boy. He was about 4 years old, and his mother was a drug addict, and she went with her boyfriend to a methadone clinic to get a shot of methadone, but they don't provide babysitting services. They don't have daycare there. And so she left the two children at home. One of them was in a crib, the other one was about 4 years old, and she put them in a room with a box of Cheerios and left. She left them alone. And when she came back, one of the children had choked to death. And this little boy, now 4 years old, is sitting in a room with his dead sibling. And I think about this all the time because it just tore my heart out. And this kid he's damaged for life. He'll never be the same. And, and he probably was blaming himself for what happened to his sibling because he was the one at home and he was the one that the police called the social worker and had him taken out of the home. So he's scarred for life. And, the bag that we provide children, it might seem like a small thing to do, but to have their name embroidered on a bag that belongs to just them with gifts in it for just them, really says, you know what, you're not in foster care because you did anything wrong. You're not in foster care because you're a bad person or nobody wants you. We care about you. We love you and we're thinking about you. And it really is very healing to the kids. That is the one thing that they appreciate more than anything you could put in the bag, to have their name on the bag. It's just really important. And, I totally agree with Susan, about, kids and just, doing one thing can be a life-changing event for them. It can really change the course of their life. And then another child that we had, he was in foster care in 2018. He received a bag from us, and I never met this boy until 2019. And the person that used to drive him around, she was the one that the social workers would call to get the children and bring them to their doctor's appointments and stuff, to drop them off at school and pick them up and bring them home. And she walked him up to me and she said, this is, Jordan, we gave him a bag in 2018. And I said, well, it was really nice of you to bring him to church. And she said, I didn't. I just saw him in church. We tagged the bags. We'll have a bag. The bag has a child's name on it. It's got, like a tag on it, with the child's name. And also it'll have a tag from any organizations that want to tag the bag, that help us, that partner with us to deliver the bags. They can put their tag on the bag. We just happen to have a tag from our church on the bag. He called the church and said, come get me. I want to go to church. And I just imagine, put a Lions tag on the bag. And this kid's going to grow up and say, you know what, the Lions are great people. I want to be a Lion. And that's how, we attract other people. You do good things happen. So that's something that I really want to see happen with Bags of Hope, is that the organizations that partner with us, put your name on the bag and let them know, we're the people that are thinking about you.
Thank you so much, Steve. That's great. We're going to have to think about that one, Alan. I think a couple of PDGs here in the room also were shaking their heads to that. So thank you for bringing that up, Steve. Peter, can you elaborate on an impactful story to share with us?
Yeah, I'll give you two short ones. How's that? An old one and one that happened a week ago.
Thank you.
One of the older stories is I started writing newsletters for the agency a couple of years back, and a woman came in that was very, clearly she was very successful businesswoman of some kind, just asked to speak to me. And I was in the soup kitchen on that particular day. I do have an office upstairs, but honestly, last night at 7 o'clock, I was at the Durham Fair picking up leftovers. I'm kind of all over the place. So I was on the soup kitchen that day, and I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, "I like what you've done with the place." I said, "Well, I haven't done a lot, but what are you talking about?" She said, "I don't come back here often, but I grew up in Portland. and my mom was severely mentally ill. So I would walk my little brother over the bridge in the morning. Just one second. I would walk my little brother over the bridge in the morning, and the people at the soup kitchen would sit me in the front window, in the bay window, and I would have breakfast here 5 days a week. And everybody here was always so kind to me. When the opportunity came up to do anything for you guys, I just want you to know, to the best of my ability, I'm going to take it, because this still feels like my safe place. So once in a while, you look at the soup kitchen, you drive by and you say, "Oh, look at all these alcoholic do-nothings that, don't have a job and this and that." And really, it's not about that. It's about the day that somebody recognizes that they need treatment. It's about the day that somebody gets dropped off out front that just served a 5-year prison sentence and is not welcome at home. The soup kitchen really it's the last stop on the train before somebody goes out in the woods and pitches a tent. So that's my pitch for the soup kitchen. The second thing we do is we take strange emails all the time. Now, I will tell you, there's a St. Vincent de Paul Middletown online. If you Google it, you're going to end up in Ohio. We get a lot of emails for the Ohio St. Vincent de Paul. But I got an email a couple weeks ago, and it said, "My pastor told me to reach out to you. I am a restaurant refrigeration specialist. I was working on a job in New Hampshire, and myself, the electrician, and the plumber on this very large job all got stiffed by the general contractor, who left and did not pay us." He said, "I've been staying at the Union 76 truck stop in Southington, taking my showers there. I'm down to $43 and half a tank of gas, and I have 1,400 miles to get home." He says, "Don't know when I can repay you, but is there anything you can think of that I should be doing?" Well, in our agency, we're used to hearing all sorts of stories, but this one just had a little different ring to it. So I said, "I'll make a deal with you. If you're at the Stop and Shop gas station in Cromwell in 1 hour from now, I'll fill the tank for you and we'll have a conversation." And I had some Stop and Shop gift cards that were donated to us last Christmas. And I filled his tank and I said, "What do you do?" And he talked to me for a while. And he had a dog in the back and he let his car run. I said, "I take it he looks after this dog and he are best friends." I said, "Listen, I've got 8 refrigeration units at food pantry. And I got 4, 5, 6 refrigeration units at the soup kitchen. Are you capable of servicing them all?" He said, "Absolutely." He said, "All my tools are in the truck." I said, "I'll make a trade then. I'll get you enough gas to get home to Alabama and food and dog food if you want to service all those refrigerators tomorrow." I said, "It's your call. You can leave now. You got a full tank of gas and be on your way home or wherever, or you can come back." I said, "The address is 16 Stack Street, and I'll be there at 8:30 tomorrow morning. If you're there, great. If you're not there, such is life." Well, he was there at 8 o'clock and called me to make sure that I was going to be there. He did a brilliant job, saved us probably $400 in a service call. Needless to say, filled his tank, let him shop in the food pantry that day, and gave him a bag of dog food for the really pretty dog he had in the back. Now, and I said, "Do me a favor, call me when you get home. I'll just feel better knowing that you got home." He's 60 years old, by the way. He's not a kid, 60-year-old man. He called me and said he was all set. And he said, "I've got something interesting happened." He said, "A restaurant group out of Worcester, I think it's called the Hollywood Restaurant Group. They have 34 restaurants, 2 in West Hartford." He said, "I did some work for them a while ago, and they said they want me to come up for an interview because I was recommended to them." We talked about the job a bit, and he said, he told me, he said, "I think I'm going to ask him for like $50 an hour." I said, "You're going to do no such thing. You have 25 years experience doing this. You're going to ask him for $125,000 a year plus a van and gas and a 40-hour work week. That's what you're going to ask him for." And he said, "Do you think?" I said, "Stop up here on your way to the interview." We had lunch. We had lunch at the diner in Middletown. Needless to say, he got the job.
Mhm.
He got $100,000 a year, not 125. He got the van. I called him today because he is going to be installing a new refrigerator, an outside walk-in refrigerator for our food pantry because we've outgrown the little one inside. But it's funny, sometimes you get the strangest emails at our place, but the agency, we have a small budget for community, community support, and a lot of times, you can solve a problem for somebody, and it is absolutely wonderful the people that you meet when you get that opportunity, and this poor man was referred to us by a pastor of a Baptist church in Alabama. He said, call St. Vincent DePaul. And, but really when the phone rings, we really like it. It's an opportunity, doesn't frustrate us, So those are my two stories for the day.
Thank you. We do have two
Yep.
questions, Alan, that maybe we can interject now. One is from past council chair Nanette Burdick. She comes from our Middletown chapter. She would like to know, with any of our organizations, there any of these, can we do some vision screening? So we have vision cameras that the Lion does through Connecticut Lions Eye Research Foundation for children ages 6 months, 2 months to 6 years, and sometimes older. Is there any opportunities with any of your organizations that we can come out, Peter?
I'll just say that Mary Crow and the Lions Club have already kind of handled something. First, we had them come to we had a public health, nutrition, and wellness fair a year ago in the fall, and a year ago in the fall. And the Lions Club came out and did the screenings then, and through a little bit of extortion, we suggested strongly to the superintendent that they reinstate the Lions Club testing in school. So you had one or two schools, but now you have them all. So you've kind of captured our clientele in that front.
Thank you.
Do you recall when that was, please? Peter, do you recall when that was?
The public health fair?
Yes,
Gosh,
I have. all
Mary,
my
you were
papers
there.
in
I'm
front.
trying to remember. It was in 2022, and I think it was in the fall. I can look it up for you.
Okay, I'd like us to be invited back to that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would have we did have another one, a back to school fair where we provided, a couple of 1,000 pounds of produce at Beaman School this year, but you guys were already scheduled to go into Beaman. So I thought that, I thought it might be redundant to have you come to the fair and set up and all that, but
Excellent. Susan, is there ever any opportunities that you have children that we could screen?
Yeah, I would think we could set something up. So our physical building is in Trumbull, so I'm not sure that that would work with you guys. I'm happy to work with, with our locals. We do have an amazing building, and we do have kids come. And if you guys wanted to advertise and do screenings on a day, I'm sure we can figure out how to set that up. But we are physically in Trumbull.
Absolutely. Nanette, I can give you Susan's email. I'll email both of you so you can have that contact. Nanette is the coordinator for our area, but we do Connecticut services, all of Connecticut. We have multiple districts that can go down there, and Nanette can help you coordinate that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love to.
I see that Carol just put something up. We do screen children from 6 months to 12th grade.
Yep.
6 months to 12th grade.
Yep, absolutely.
Excuse me.
Stephen, do you ever have any opportunities for screening? Do you get, I don't know if you see the kids all the time.
Well, no, we don't get to see
Okay.
any of the children from DCF. Once in a while, we're fortunate enough to bump into one, but that's, our job is to deliver these things to DCF. The only place that we have like a huge amount of children is when we're wrapping and packing the bags and getting the bags ready in Seekonk to go out to the different states and to the different towns. There will be a couple of hundred people in the building, and a lot of them children. People that help pack and wrap and stuff bags are anywhere from 2 and 3 years old up to 90 years old. So we have a lot of children at that time, but you'd have to go to Seekonk. It's a
Okay.
haul.
So I think that answers your question, Nanette.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the next one is kind of a two-part question. I'm going to put them together, and it's basically for Peter. So Peter, the Middletown St. Vincent de Paul, are you connected with the Norwich one?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Middletown has an independent 501c3 nonprofit, and we are self-governed, I'll say. We have our own budget. If we start a program, it's not necessarily reciprocated in Norwich. However, they were both founded by the Diocese of Norwich. If to be honest with you, there's been several times where they've had a need that we've helped them with, and we occasionally collaborate when we're trying to work something out. Like we just had an issue with food share. Basically they're independently. It's like a franchise, independently owned and operated.
Okay.
But
And the next question comes from Todd, and he's from our Cromwell chapter. And he's questioning. He has a question for Amazing Grace, which is the food share part of your organization. He says he hears a theory that there's a need for food during the holidays, but he was told there's a need year round. Can you elaborate on the need for the food with Amazing Grace?
Sure, absolutely. Real easy. Human nature at Thanksgiving and Christmas. I would say 30% more people, find themselves donating. In fact, some of the most difficult conversations we have are, well, why can't I come on Thanksgiving to serve in your food pantry or in your soup kitchen? Well, it holds 60 people, and I've had 120 people want to volunteer that day. And so people are very often offended that they can't get in a room that holds 60 people that is going to serve 100 people. And, so I guess the right answer to this is Thanksgiving to Christmas time, we stock up on food that we deliver to families all the way through April. Around Easter, there's a little push again. Summer months, it's a little on the bleak side, other than the fact that it's growing season. So the correct answer is whenever people want to feel generous, or if they want to commit to, helping those less fortunate in the community. Do we have a need? Yes. Perfect example, Bimbo Bakery, that owns a lot of different, brands at this point, one of the largest bread companies. And they're going through reorganization. They've stopped giving us 300 to 400 loaves of bread a week. So we are buying them today at $1 a loaf, wholesale, and at $1,200 a month for bread alone. We can't do that indefinitely. And that's the kind of thing that happens. Food Share will, for example, carry shelf-stable yogurt for 3 months straight to provide, yogurt in backpacks for kids. It's high protein, high nutrition, food. And all of a sudden they won't have it for a month. So we either buy ahead of time, or if they don't have it, we have to go out and get something else to substitute to make sure the nutritional needs are. So it's always like a piston engine. You can't tell what's going to happen, but the seasonality is that Thanksgiving through Christmas, people are not going to stop being more generous than at any other time, and they are more generous. But the real need, if you want to say the most difficult times are, I would say, March through August, really, other than produce, because we in season produce, we do pretty well by families.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Alan, we can go back to you.
Okay, great. Okay, Stephen,
Yes.
what is your greatest need that is not being met, or one that could use help being met?
We're always, we're always collecting donations, and we do a good job with that. We work really hard at that. the one thing that we don't have, and to be partnering with the Lions, I mean, it's one of the reasons we joined the Lions is because we like to serve. And Lions are a worldwide organization. So even though we just serve Connecticut, this is going to expand from state to state to state, and we need boots on the ground. We don't have, like, we're working out of Plainfield, Connecticut, and we're servicing the entire state of Connecticut with the handful of volunteers that we have. And so we need, people with vans, people with box trucks, people with trailers, people that are willing, to drive from, say, a Plainfield to Torrington, a Plainfield to Danbury, a Plainfield to Brooklyn or any place. We have offices all over Connecticut. So we need people to volunteer their time to do deliveries. And it's not a huge job. It might be 1 or 2 deliveries a year. So it's and then the other thing that that we're really hoping to see is as far as like we work our rear ends off trying to collect all year long to supply the needs of a couple of thousand kids for the year. And if we had like organizations like the Leos, doing a car wash or doing a yard sale or doing anything like that, every few bucks that they can collect would provide something for a child in DCF. And there are only at any given time about 4,000, maybe 4,500 children that are in the DCF program. But there are more kids, and we're expanding the Bags of Hope to provide things for families that are in desperate need, where there might be a whole family in the DCF, in DCF care, where we might be able to provide something for that family that we don't normally do with Bags of Hope. So we're hoping to expand it to be able to really help people that are in need. Like Make-A-Wish or St. Vincent DePaul. We want to be of service to the whole family. We want to help. We have, we've met a lot of grandparents where they had an adult child that was strung out on drugs and wound up ODing, and now they're taking care of their grandchildren. We want to help people like that, that are all of a sudden found themselves saddled down with 4 or 5 children, and they're 70 years old, 80 years old. Those are people that we could really reach out and help. So Lions are, an organization that we really look forward to partnering with.
Thank you, Stephen. How about you, Susan? What do you see as the greatest need that's not being met?
Yeah, so as I said before, we're just 20 of us in the office doing all this magic to make these wishes happen. And our primary contact with our families is through our volunteers throughout the state. And so we look for volunteers in a whole variety of roles. So we have our wish granting roles. So those are the folks that actually meet with the family, which can be virtual or in person, and sit down with that child and, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What do you like to do? Really get to know them and really get some idea of what their wishes might be. What they're going to do, which is amazing, and it's kind of starting the whole wish process. And then we have another set of volunteers, which could be the same, who help us do what we call deliver that wish. So the office does all of the planning, the travel agencying, the figuring out who's going to build that playground or whatever it might be. But then we need folks to come in and deliver that wish. And that's a party for this family. That's a going away party. That's a ribbon cutting on a playground. It's a delivery of a puppy. It's whatever that might be. So we need volunteers to do that. In order to be any of those kinds of volunteers, all that's required, there's what we call a wish granter training, which is a couple of hours to kind of learn how to do it, and a background check, of course, to do that. But essentially, you can be with a family within an incredibly short time to be able to start doing our wish granting roles. But we also have roles that require, could be more or even less time than that. We have events throughout the year, and those can be, an event for our families that we need help with, or it can be help at a fundraiser. We have a big fundraiser at Mohegan Sun every April, and we've got fundraisers at Jersey Mike's throughout the state and wherever that might be. And we need help staffing those, doing those, running those events. We have what we call a wish helper. So this is, you know, oh my God, we've got plants that need to be picked up and delivered to somebody's house, or a desk that need to be built, or a room that needs to be painted, or a playground that needs to be assembled. And, you know, if you're interested in that, we kind of keep a list of who's interested in those kind of pop on, pop off opportunities. And if we've got something that, you know, is in your area, we'll put it out there, and maybe it's a good day for you and maybe it's not, and all that's okay. But, you know, there's always a need for somebody to actually help out on a wish and do that. So there's lots of ways that we need help. To just in all aspects of the wish process, you know, whether it's helping our fundraising efforts, or helping with the actual wish, or working with our families, and there's lots of ways to do that, and all of those we can get volunteers in front of those kids or with those kids in an incredibly short period of time.
Thank you, Susan. How about you, Peter? You know, the need is always great for the food pantry and the soup kitchen.
Am I off mute now? I guess I am. Sorry. Yeah, I guess I think it's a good idea for anybody to spend a day volunteering at our soup kitchen to find out what that's about. I will say that I would say most of our long-term, you know, staff are people that volunteered first. Happened to me 11 years ago. I went in on a Thursday and I got the honor of cleaning their basement bathroom on my first day as a volunteer. And if you want an interesting job sometime, go to a soup kitchen and clean their bathroom. But I don't know, it just seems like if people are interested in the work that we're doing, or interested in finding out about us, there's a lot of volunteer opportunities, and then you kind of figure out where the niche is. Like we have, well, during COVID, for example, we had a lot of people who wanted to do something, but they didn't want to be exposed to the public. So we got a bunch of the churches in town to ask their people to drive to do home delivery of groceries. So it's kind of figure out what the like you said, find out what the needs are, and then build a base of partners that you can work with in order to fill those needs. So what do we need today? If people are interested in doing a food drive or something like that, well, we have kind of a little book that shows people how to do it and what's needed. If people are interested in providing, you know, financial resources, we have an Amazon wish list online that has all the things that, you know, that change all the time, basically, but it's on our website. So it's kind of funny. I really I'm stumped when they say, what's the greatest need right now? Because it's not, it's like, what's the greatest need today? You know, so we have a consistent need for volunteers at the soup kitchen and food pantry. The food pantry, by the way, operates on a 60 person volunteer crew. There's 2.5 paid positions and 60 volunteers there. And there's always opportunities there. We need volunteers to do home delivery. We do home delivery to seniors without transportation with disabilities. We do home delivered groceries to cancer patients with immune suppression therapy that can't get out. You know, we have about 30 people a week, 30 different people a week that we deliver food to. So if somebody wants to drive a short route in Middletown area, they could donate 1 hour. We could give them 5 stops where they deliver groceries, you know, and the groceries are no charge. We leave them on the porch, you know, ring the doorbell, and they expect us. And so there's a lot of different things that are available, but honestly, it's got to make the people involved feel good, you know. The reward has to be for the person doing the volunteering or the giving as much as it is for our clients. So
Thank
I
you,
don't think I
Peter.
answered the question.
No, you answered great. Thanks.
I would
Hey,
like
hey.
to ask a question to
Mhm.
Peter, though. You have food. Do you also have other things like deodorant and
Yeah,
shampoo?
yeah, and in the winter months, for example, we had we had some ladies that darned these beautiful scarves and knitted scarves and hats and mittens and things, and those always go out. We put them in a available box at the food pantry, and those always disappear. In the winter months, we need socks starting fairly soon. I think over the last week with the rain and all, for the people that are still living outside, and there's probably in Middletown right now about 60 people living outside right now in Middletown. So we've given away a lot more than 60 pair of socks, but good winter socks, not the not the super thin stuff, are always in demand through the winter. Toiletries we do two ways. The normal family size toiletries, if people want to collect those, go to the food pantry, and a family will be able to pick one bottle of shampoo, for example, one bar of soap, one tube of toothpaste, that kind of thing. And we also take I call them hotel size, the miniature size, because when somebody comes to the food pantry says, I need a toothbrush bad, we have those. I probably have 300 or 400 toothbrushes, and the small toothpaste. And so we have the miniature size at the soup kitchen, and for families that need something larger, for a homeless person to give them a quart bottle of shampoo isn't really doing something. So, are those needs? Yes, particularly in the winter months. The needs are great.
I ask because sometimes things will fall in our lap. We had 2 pallet loads of shampoo and conditioner and soap and stuff. And we brought
All
it down the bags of hope. But if they can't take it all, I want to be able to contact you and get you stuff.
Please do.
You can
Mary
pop your name
Crow.
and
The
your
last
number
time
in
Mary
the
Crow, yeah, the last time Mary Crow called me, I ended up with I think 10 or 15 cases of bananas. Am I right? Yeah.
what's the
We
best
get
way to get a
calls with.
hold of you, Peter?
I'm sorry.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I will put my email and cell phone number in the text for
Chat.
anybody that wants to reach out. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Excellent. So there was another message that was in the chat from Mary Ann Russo from one of our other districts. She is the chair of the hearing preservation. And she wants to remind anybody that we do not only give out glasses, but hearing aids as well, for people of all ages. So if you have a need for somebody, one of your clients, please reach out to us and we will get you in touch with somebody who does hearing preservation. So we just wanted to bring that out, that that's something else that we do as well. So Peter, I know you deal with a lot of people that may need this service, right? So please reach out to us.
Totally will. Thank you. I didn't realize you did hearing aids as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The hearing preservation has made great strides over the last few years and getting some great partnerships with some quality products out there. So yeah. Thanks, Mary Ann, for putting that in. That's a great reminder for all of us. Yeah, so thank you everybody for putting your information in there. So I know that there's a lot of opportunity coming up. I know that all of you do a lot of fundraising. How do you see our organization, the Lions, partnering with yours? We're always looking for opportunity to do service because that's our main mission. for being part of this organization is to serve others. So let's start with Steve. How do you see us partnering with you? Because I know stuff is happening soon, right? You're going to be doing those bags soon. And what
Yeah.
could you use from us?
Say again?
What could you use from us? Our service? You need items from us?
Yeah, we don't necessarily need items. All of the items are already ordered for the bags. Sometimes when we get our bags back, we'll put additional things in the bags. Bags of Hope New England is kind of fussy in the respect that they only want us to put things in the bag that are new. You know, a lot of times we'll get things donated to us that are not new. They're in great condition, but they're not new. So to give them as a Christmas gift, you know, it's not really appropriate. But you know, a lot of times people make pillowcases and stuff. We'll put a pillowcase in the bag. You know, if it has like a print that a child would like you know, Legos or something. You know, so things like that. You know, we're always looking for. You know, but you know, almost in all of the children that we serve, you know, some of them are special needs. They go up to age 21 and 22. But you know, most of the people that we serve are children. You know, so they want things that are appropriate for children. And you know, so we'll always, you know, entertain taking stuff like that. But we really need hands and feet, you know, and that's what would make our job a lot easier, is to have kids involved. Like a whole group of Leos could go with us, you know, down to Seekonk and actually see this operation. And it is a life-changing experience when you walk in the building and you see people from all over the tri-state area working together, you know, to stuff bags and wrap gifts and put this together. They put thousands and thousands and thousands of these things together in a few days, you know, so it's worth the trip down there just to see it. You know, when the last time I went down there, they had a wall of children that were actually adopted because of people that saw the Bags of Hope program, and they decided to become foster parents and eventually adopted. So it makes a huge difference, you know, people getting involved and you know, and Lions being a service organization. I mean, that's why I joined the Lions, because I like to serve, you know, and you know, and when I met Steve Martin and he got me into the Lions group, it's like I'm overwhelmed by all of the people that are in the Lions. I just love the Lions. And that's what they do. We serve. That's our you know, that's our slogan there. You know, so you know, people that get involved and to take a ride down and just pack and wrap gifts or stuff bags and just see the operation, and then get involved maybe in your community. You know, maybe raise some funds. It doesn't have to be a lot. Something. You know, to raise some funds for the children in that area. You know, the children that are in the Norwich area, or in the Willimantic area, or in the Middletown area. You know, all the way across Connecticut, all the way. You know, we have 6 different zones and 15 or 16 different offices. So, you know, a Lion in any group could get involved with DCF in their area. And we take care of getting the names and everything. But, you know, to deliver the bags, you know, and just to, you know, to get, you know, just to get involved in that is just a real joy to do that. You know, so with us.
When are you going to be delivering the bags, Steve?
The bags, that's, you know, probably in November, the bags will get delivered. But first we have to get the bags, and then we have to bring them back to Connecticut, and then we have to find places to store them. And then we have to make an appointment with the DCF office to deliver them. So it never happens, you know, all at once. It happens in pieces. So, you know, the first year that we did it, we only had 400 kids. We brought all the bags back to our church, and we lined them all up on the chairs in the sanctuary, and it filled the entire sanctuary. And people came in and they saw all these children in their chair, and they were like overwhelmed. They're like, I had no idea. 3 more families in my church decided to start doing foster care. You know, so it happens like that, you know, and we sell ornaments, you know, during the year. The ornament will have the name of a child, their age, and their gender on the back of it. And we just ask people, take the ornament, hang it on your tree after Christmas, hang it on the handle near your coffee maker, and just say a prayer for the child, you know, and it makes a huge difference. it makes a huge difference. So just think little things like that. It doesn't have to be monumental. We're not looking for a giant check from everybody. Some kids will just come down and they just love to get involved. We have all kinds of we have kids 2-3 years old that volunteer. It's really fun. It's a really fun thing. We usually take a van. We'll take like a 15-passenger van down to Swansea, and we have a trailer that we got, and we have the Bags of Hope logo on it, and we drive down there, and everybody will pack and wrap, and when our bags are ready, we'll go and load the trailer and bring them back, and then bring them into this building or that building. We have different people that say, yeah, I can take 200 or 300 bags and put them here, and then make arrangements to deliver them. So it's a lot of fun. It's hands-on, and it's not just about collecting the money. It's about having hands and feet on the ground. And last year we had over 1,140 kids. So, it's growing really fast.
Steve, how can clubs go about sponsoring a bag?
Sponsoring a bag, for each bag that we get, I mean, the bag, you guys have seen them, it'll have, blankets and books and, and toys and stuff in them. And they charge us $25 for the bag. I have no idea what they pay for it, but if I went out and bought this stuff and had a bag monogrammed, it probably cost me about 60 or 70 bucks. And we get it for $25. So for every $25, we can sponsor a child. We collect that money all year. It sits in a nonprofit account. It just sits there until the bags are ready. Then we cut the check to Bags of Hope New England. So that, it's not, the more people that get involved, the less work we have to do. It's the first year we did all the work, and the second year we did mostly all the work, and now it's getting a little bit easier because we have more people involved. But I imagine if every Lions group, sponsored a child, that's a lot of children. Now, I don't know how many groups there are in Connecticut, but there's quite a few Lions in Connecticut. So, and it doesn't take anything, to raise the money. I mean, that's the easy part. It's the physical work, that really is, that's what we need help with, the physical work. But raising the money is easy to do. You got a yard sale, car wash, and you could sponsor a couple of kids. We raised $800 on a car wash. We stood in front of Walmart one day. Just 3 or 4 of us stood in front of Walmart. We had a Bags of Hope banner and a table set up. We collected $1,100. One day at Walmart. That's what Walmart needs to see, is a bunch of lions standing outside, with their lion shirts on, collected for a nonprofit. That was one of the things that made me join the Lions. When Steve Martin brought me to the first Lions meeting, I'm going there, to see the first Lions meeting. That was the meeting where they got inducted as a group. They hadn't even been formed as a group yet. And I got there, and I mean, they started with the Pledge of Allegiance. They said prayers over the food, and I'm like, I want to be a Lion. Yeah, that was it. I was sold. I was hooked. So that's what I'd like to see. So I'd like to see Lions out there. Whenever we go anywhere, Renee Williams will be with us. We'll take pictures of them in their Lion shirts, and that makes a big difference. People get excited when they see things happening.
Yeah. Steve, we have a question for you. Where are you putting everything together? We have somebody from the Danbury area.
So initially we collect the names from DCF, and we ask all the Lions, if you know a social worker, a foster parent, get us that information. We want to make sure we don't miss one single kid. We want to make sure that every child that has not got a bag with their name on it gets one. So that's number one. And then, around October now, October 1st to October, second week in October, we're going to be delivering the names to Bags of Hope New England, and they're going to order the bags to be monogrammed. As soon as those bags come back to Bags of Hope New England, we're going to be going down there to pack and wrap gifts. We don't have the actual dates yet, but when they call us, we'll have the dates, and it'll probably be late October, all through November. We'll be packing and wrapping and stuffing bags, and we go down there not just for our bags, but we'll go down there and wrap gifts, for bags in another state, or another county, and we'll help them load their bags up so they can get them back to wherever they're going. So there's a lot of opportunities to go down there and see the operation and help.
And where is this operation?
Yeah, it's actually at it's right now it's located in the old Swansea Mall. They're renovating the entire mall, and there's a church down there, His Providence Church, and they house Bags of Hope New England. And they have a huge facility down there. So they have hand trucks and and they can take pallet loads of stuff in. So they get things from all the big box stores and they store it there, around September, October to stuff the bags. So people from all over the place. I mean, we see Marines down there, young Marines down there. We see your Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. We see all kinds of different groups going down there to pack and wrap gifts and get involved in this thing. Bags of Hope, New England is not a church organization. It's an organization that services anybody and everybody, but it's housed at His Providence Church and in the old Swansea Mall in Swansea. And in our Connecticut facility, we have a lot of different organizations that are involved, but our address is 33 Plainfield Pike, which happens to be in our church. But again, it's around October, November, we'll be going down to Swansea, to the Swansea Mall, and Bags of Hope is down there. We'll meet up with people wherever they want to meet up between here and there, and bring them down there and show them through the first time.
What town is this mall in? Do you have the town?
The Swansea, it's in Swansea, the Swansea Mall. If you Google Swansea Mall, let me get the address for you right here.
All right. I never heard of that before.
Oh, no?
No.
There was a mall in Swansea, and they bought the Macy's. So Bags of Hope is in the Macy's building, or was the Macy's building. Okay.
Massachusetts?
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Oh,
Right
Massachusetts.
right over the line, yeah.
Okay, Massachusetts.
Yep.
So Steve, maybe what you could do is put together that list maybe and send it to Alan and me, and we can send it out to the Lions, because it sounds like there's quite a few people that might want to come out and pack those bags and help you.
It's a riot. It really is. It's a lot of fun. And they have a great Christmas program. Towards the end of it, they'll set up a big Santa's village. So if you got a bunch of kids, they have a big Santa's village, and they have all kinds of stuff. They can go take pictures with Santa, and they have all kinds of candy and popcorn and all kinds of stuff there. It's a riot. It's a lot of fun. And I will get that. I'll get that information to you. Yes.
Thank you so much, Steve. Sue, if we can have how do you see us partnering with you? I mean, I know you're doing so many maybe fundraisers. You have events coming up. Let us know what's coming. How do you see us partnering with you? Because I think this is something that we may want to do coming down the pike.
I love it. And I think if the individual organizations wanted to host a fundraiser or doing something like that, we would be happy to partner with you and help with that, and provide some information for how you can do that. If anybody individually wanted to help for volunteering, there's lots of opportunities. I put in the chat the website that has all of our volunteer types of opportunities, or just shoot us an email, and we're happy to set you up with whatever individual volunteering opportunity you might like. Or if there's an individual, and is it chapters? I'm sorry, I don't know how it's all set up, but if an individual group wanted to see if there was a local volunteering type of thing that could be done, we would, if there's a build or a painting or, dragging shrubs from somewhere to somewhere, we'd be happy to work with you on that too.
Do you ever have like a list of something that's coming up that you need help with?
Yeah, I can certainly get you that, Michelle, or as it comes, I can kind of feed that out to you and you can feed that out to the group. Happy to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, so Lions, we're all throughout the state of Connecticut, right? So there's 3 chapters. We're 23C, so we cover Eastern Connecticut. We have Middletown. Yeah, Nanette's got her thumbs up there. So we got Middletown, New London, Wyndham County, and Talon County. But we have people on this call tonight from the other 2 areas, which is Hartford and Litchfield, and down by Danbury, and Fairfield. So we there might be some partnering that we could do to help you with certain things. If you can put together maybe a list of
Yeah.
items that you do and that you're looking for volunteers, we can shoot it out to all the service coordinators.
Would love to do that. And then as things come up, I can also let you know. So we'd be happy to do that.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. And Peter, I know we're already partnering with you now, but what else can we do to help your organization?
You know, I really should have come prepared in my brain for to say, geez, what could we do? I think probably the best thing I could do is put something in writing for you. One thing is, I think it'd be great if the Lions picked one day a year and served as an organization at Soup Kitchen, so that the partnership, you know, takes on some personal meaning, I'll say. I think it would be great if they, if you guys wanted to host a food drive of any kind, or if you know, if you really would rather not do that, you could take on sponsorship of an event that for which the food pantry and or organization could be beneficiary, especially if you like, if if there's any one of our programs that really fits within the Lions Club philosophy, you know, whether if it's a free haircut program, I know how much that's going to cost a year to run. I haven't figured it out yet, but I got my grant to get it started, so we're going to get that going. It might be, you know, clothing for the community. It could be the food pantry. It could be the home delivery service. In other words, there are things that, you know, certainly any organization that wants to commit time or resources to, we could use the help always. I'd rather, you know, or if the Lions is really more in the lines of, we'd like to raise money to support an individual cause within the umbrella of services that you offer, then I would package something for you that way too, because, you know, everybody's time can be pulled thin sometimes. Sometimes it's raising money, other times it's, you know, direct, you know, human service. So really, I'd like to find out what, you know, what you see as available resources, you know, of your time, or and what within our organization do you think will fit? And the other thing too is, I think great partnerships are born when people are willing to pick up the phone. I don't mean to pick on Mary again, but I'm going to. I got a call a couple of weeks ago. She said, we got this couch, and it's an almost new couch, and it's going to be put out of somebody's house. Do you have anybody that needs it? Well, we house 113 people. We got 16 extra vouchers. We are looking for housing for 16 homeless people right now. And within a week of the day I got that phone call, I had picked up the couch, and it is in an apartment, and that person is moving in on the 1st of October. So just communication when something comes up, you know, that is an integral part of, you know, serving the needs of the community. You know, if we have extra of something that you need, you're welcome to it, you know. So
Nice. Wonderful. Wonderful, everybody. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Carol from the Woodstock area said she thanks you all so much for everything that you're doing in your programs. She really enjoyed the stories, and you're all doing such wonderful work. Mary Crow says that Amazing Grace called her and asked them to purchase shopping carts for them. And 4 clubs all got together and purchased some shopping carts. So great job. Yeah, there's a lot of partnering going on, and I know Lions are always looking to expand their service. So thank you for coming tonight with all of this information. We look forward to working with all of you in the future. And I want to thank everybody for attending tonight. It was a great seminar, and it was great to see so many faces tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all got something out of this to bring back to your clubs.
Carol,
thank you all. Thank you for the invitation.